Okay, cool. Good. Whoever has written Java programs, Apex would be easy for them. There is no doubt. Okay. Whoever is like has written Python, Apex is easy. Okay. So we'll keep like Apex. Okay. Yesterday not yesterday, last week we have seen some like concepts like we have declarative way of programming, and we have programmatic way of like developing applications in Salesforce. This we have seen, correct? So here Apex is used to build business logic in Salesforce. Okay, Apex is a proprietary language like say like built by Salesforce to be used only in Salesforce. You cannot run Apex anywhere else. It is proprietary to Salesforce. Okay, and like whoever wants to work in the Salesforce platform, understanding Apex would be very helpful for them. Okay. Okay, so this will help us build business logic in Salesforce in a programmatic way. Okay. We have built some business logics in Salesforce earlier, right? Like simple validation rule. Okay, we have set it up, and we set up some required fields, all of those things. So a similar sort of logic can be established in Apex. So Apex is a proprietary programming language developed by Salesforce. Okay, so Salesforce has like um, has built systems uh, like which will compile our programs and store executables in the system. Yeah, FYI, Apex is a compiled programming language. Okay, it is not interpreted like JavaScript. It is compiled. So whenever you do a save of the Apex class or Apex trigger, it will try to compile the file, and it will throw a compile error if there is any error. Otherwise, it will just store the Apex class in the system. Okay, it is like normal Java class. Okay, the reason being like it is strongly object oriented programming language. Okay, a language where object oriented programming concepts are strongly embedded. Okay, so we use it to build business logic in Salesforce. Okay, so there are two ways we can store Apex in Salesforce. Okay, you can store it as a class. Okay, where we create a class and we create instance of the class. Like basically, you have a class file, and that would be compiled, and it will become a executable, and that way like you can invoke the you can create instance and access the variables methods defined in the class. You can store it as a trigger where like it will be pre-executed on a specific data changes. Okay, we'll explain what
So
trigger is.
Rias, are you
Yes.
sharing any screen?
Oh, my mistake. I've not shared my screen.
No.
Okay, is able to see my screen?
Yes, visible.
My sincere apologies. Okay, so yeah, so Sales Apex is used to build the business logic. Okay, and Apex can be stored in two forms in Salesforce. One is as a class, another is a trigger. Okay. Any questions on this? How we store Apex? But we'll talk about the object-oriented programming concept, and then we'll start building Apex class. Okay, I'll just go ahead with create one class file. Okay, in Java, what is the first file that we build? Can we build a simple class file in Java? Object-oriented programming.
Hello?
Yep,
Sir, sorry, sir. I got an issue with the laptop, so I couldn't.
no problem, Samuel.
Thanks, sir.
Yes. Okay, can you guys say what is object-oriented programming? Like, what is object?
Yeah, it's a blueprint to work with the object, create and
Okay. OOPS concept, you guys would have studied, right? Object-oriented programming system. OOPS, like object-oriented programming concepts. You would have heard about inheritance, class, object. Okay, I'll put the blueprint. Guys, OOPS is something you guys all studied. Or at least when you learn Java or programming, OOPS is a very simple concept.
So mainly focus on reusing of codes, like it will include objects, classes, methods.
It include classes, okay.
Objects
Methods,
and objects.
methods, okay. Variables, whatnot. Hmm.
Encapsulation instruction.
Encapsulation, okay.
Inheritance.
Inheritance, okay.
Polymorphism.
Abstraction.
Polymorphism, abstraction. Great. Anything else?
Constructor.
Sorry?
Constructor.
Constructor. Okay, that comes under classes, right? Basic object, basically. This all comes under object. Blueprint. So how it's defined object. Okay. So, okay. So you guys all know, like, machine code, right? You guys all know programming language. Programming language is written in English, right? And machine code is all binary. Whatever code we write is transformed into a machine code, and that is what is executed in the computers, right? Earlier, we used to have some programming languages called COBOL. Prior to that, we have something called microprocessors. Okay. They basically have instructions. It will say CPY, variable A to variable B, right? So, and then it has evolved. This is low-level programming. The microprocessor, chip programming are all low-level, okay? And then we evolved into a high-level programming, like your Python, Java. These are all high-level programs, okay? So in the high-level programs, to keep things simple, object-oriented programming concept was evolved. So in that concept, every I would not say functionality, everything can be defined as an object. Okay. For example, car is an object. Human can be declared as an object. And each of the objects can have certain functions, properties, like attributes. Okay. Every object. Okay. Every object has certain functionalities, right? Like if you take cricket bat, it's an object. It has a functionality. It has properties, the length of the bat, the material used to make the bat, right? The grip, how the grip is connected to how the handle is connected to the bat, right? What sort of items I can play with the bat. Okay. So object-oriented programming concept evolved from the real life objects. Okay. So first of all, they define the class, okay, which defines the blueprint, or which defines the structure, what the class is all about, what are all the attributes or properties of the class, what are the functions, or the what are the functions, are services that we can do with the object. Okay, so object-oriented programming derived out of real-world objects. So it acts as a blueprint. And for each class that we define, we have functions, properties, attributes. Okay. In this objects, okay, car as an object, we apply encapsulation. We apply inheritance concept, we apply polymorphism, we apply abstraction. Okay. So, abstraction. Can you guys give an example like how abstraction is implemented in Java?
Using abstract classes and interfaces.
No, that is abstract. It comes under encapsulation. Your implements, all of those comes under encapsulation. Abstraction is hiding information and sharing information which is
Overriding.
needed. Overriding comes under polymorphism. Yeah, we will
Focus
Yes.
on essential features.
on using what?
Focus on essential features.
Correct. Abstraction focuses on essential features. It shows what is need to be exposed, right? Car is has multiple components. Okay. All we need to know is how to drive the car. Just a few functions. Okay. A car mechanic knows in and out of the car, but as a user, we just drive it. Okay. Like cricketers, they use the bat just to play. The nuances of how to make a bat is not known to them. Okay. So how do we, in Java, how do we implement abstraction? How are we implementing abstraction?
There only so essential details and hide all other details.
Correct. So we have
Okay.
something called access modifiers, right? You guys know access modifiers in Java.
Yes.
What are they?
Private,
Public.
protected, default.
Okay. If I mark something private, what happens to that?
It only
Within the
accessible
class
inside the
only
class.
can-
Right. So I'm abstracting something within the class. I don't have to expose that to the outside world. Okay. If I make something public, what it means?
It accessible from another class also.
Exactly. If I make protected, what that means?
Can only use it inside the class.
Okay. If the class can use it and its parent can access it.
Within this package only we can access by protected.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So you guys get the idea, right? So we use access modifiers to do abstraction. Okay. We do abstract implements to do the encapsulation, right? So car as one object. Okay. I can have wheel as one object, engine as one object. Okay. And here I have braking system as one object. Because braking system has its own functions. It has its own attributes. Wheel has its own function, attributes, properties, everything is there. Okay. In car, I need to have wheels, right? Which can make use of the wheel object definition, which is separate. So I'm encapsulating wheels, engine, braking system as one object called car. I declared them everything separately. I make use of them and I'm encapsulating everything into one object. This is encapsulation. We are implementing encapsulation by combining objects or reusing objects. Okay. And here we are abstracting all these definitions in the car object instance. We are not explicitly accessing them individually. We are hiding all these details. Okay. So again, object-oriented programming. This is more into your real world, like how business use cases are very real, applicable in the real world. Okay. Similarly, you would be able to identify objects everywhere, anything that you do, right? So try to see what is the encapsulation that is done to that object? What is that, like, the inheritance that it can do? What sort of polymorphism it can apply? Like, see, human as an object, like, we use the, like, like we play cricket with the cricket bat, we play tennis with the tennis bat. So the hands are used for that action, but depends on the game or depends on the condition, depends on the input, our behavior changes. Okay. So try to relate as much as real life objects that you see and try to see how these concepts are applied. First thing you need to understand is what are the functions, what are the properties of the object. Take anything. Define what is my function of this object. Take a knife, take a, like, shoes, like, take your computer. Like, everything is an object. See, try to understand what are the properties of the object, what are the functions of that object. And this can be transformed into programming. And that's where object-oriented programming is very popular, very useful, because you are able to solve real world problems effectively by defining the real world objects. Okay, I can define a customer. I can define an order as a class, right? I can define, like, movie ticket. This is a class. Okay, type diskette, but movie ticket is a class. Like, it has, like, what are the, its properties contains, like, which seat I can go, what show I can go, okay, when I can go, all that information are inside that movie ticket. So I can just build one class movie ticket. I can issue an instance, take a printout of it and give it to user, customer to use. So the point is, see the business use cases, see the objects involved in that use case, so that the objects can be transformed into programming language, which can be easily explained to the computer to process and run. So wherever you see objects, think of how these concepts are, hidden in that object. Table, chair, scooter, anything. Does that make sense? Object-oriented programming concepts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Let's create some classes. I'll log into Salesforce. All of you have developer edition. I want you guys to log into your developer edition. Go to developer console, like go to setup. Go to developer console. Generally drag it so I know I can access within the same place. Great. I need volunteers to share screen and create some classes. Apex class. I'll stop sharing. I need volunteers who can do screen sharing, create an Apex class in their system. Imran, would it be possible to share your screen and do a Apex class?
Yes, I am Python developer. I don't know anything about Java.
Okay, that's fine.
I can
Okay.
create in Python. I don't know about like Apex is like a Java only, right? Like we have to mention
Yeah, yeah.
class.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Any other volunteers who knows Java who wants to start writing an Apex class? Raj, Mahesh, we have Vinishri. Come on, guys, you guys are doing this, not me. Rian, can you share your screen and do? Sikandar.
Yeah, sir. I will do.
Okay, Rian, thanks.
Sir, one second, wait a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Sir.
For those who joined late, now we just covered a simple object-oriented programming concept, how all the the reason behind that. Okay, how everything can be identified as objects in the real world, and how that can be transformed into classes in Java or Apex. Okay, I'll share the recording anyway. You can review it later. In the setup icon, the right side, third icon, gear icon, top. Yes, top right, go to the gear icon. You see 12, number 12 in the top right.
Sir, I am on the developer console screen. Which screen is visible to you?
Sorry, I'm not able to see your developer console. You didn't share the whole screen.
1 second, sir.
I see the setup page. Hey Vignesh, your hands are raised. Have any question?
Oh, sir, shall I drop off now? I have another call.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. You can drop off and watch the video
thank you.
recording later.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sir, it's
Yes,
working
now
now.
able to see your screen. Perfect. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, go to File, New, Apex class. Okay, okay, let's create one class. Okay, have you set up anything, or we can just do a what class we can do? What sort of objects you have created earlier, Rian? Any objects you created? Pharmacy, anything?
Sir, pharmacy. I don't remember, sir. I completed
problem.
prior yet.
Let's create something called contact controller. Contact. No space. Class name, no space allowed. So yeah. Perfect. Create a class. Okay, so here we just created a class. The name of the class is contact controller. Okay, let's define some functions and attributes in this class. Okay, let's say the properties, right? You can declare one variable called first name, like public string first name. String first name. Okay. Okay, semicolon, end with a semicolon, every statement. Okay, second, another property, public string last name. Okay. And create a constructor. Okay. So if you see, there are some problems. Can you go to the problems? I don't think. No, not that one. Yeah, below problems. So double quotes is, you can remove the initialization and just give define public string first name and public string last name. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah, there. Remove the double quotes and the assignment. Okay. Yeah. And the constructor, you have to give open bracket, close bracket. Yeah. Remove extra. Yeah. Save. It is still throwing error. Okay. Clear. So you defined one object. So you defined a class which is going to be useful to create a contact in the system. Okay. We will make use of creating a contact. Okay. Let's define one function called create or add. After line number 7, create a function. Let's make it public void. Okay. Add open bracket. Yeah. Okay. Here. So now here he's trying to achieve. He's writing one function of the class where the function is used to add a record or add a contact in the system. Okay. Thanks, Rian. I'll take screen sharing from here. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'm just defining the properties. Okay. And I'm defining a simple constructor. So what I'm trying to do is, we have this project, hospital management project. In this, we have contacts. I'm trying to create a contact via Apex, via program. Okay. And here, let's say I'm just having last name as the mandatory field. Define last name. So, okay. I can create a contact. So all I need is the last name is bare minimum needed to create a contact. So I'm trying to define a class which has a function which can help me add a new contact into the system. Okay. Which will take one parameter. Last name. Okay. So here I'm in Salesforce. Okay. Every object, we studied about objects, right? Everything that we see in the object manager is all stored as objects. Okay. In Salesforce, everything is stored as object. Okay. I'll just save this. Okay, I'll come to this shortly. So in Salesforce, we have defined objects, which is nothing but our tables. Also, Salesforce stores everything as like, every object is a subset of our parent object called S object. So since contact is an object, I am initiating an instance of the contact object and I am setting an attribute, okay, in contact object with the parameter that I'm getting in the function, and I'm trying to insert contact. So in Apex, in Salesforce, every object is stored as a class. So I'm instantiating a class here for contact, setting the values, attributes in the class, and I'm inserting this instance into the database in Salesforce. Okay. So let me just invoke this Apex class to insert a contact in the system. Okay. So I'm just invoking it anonymously. We will see how this can be invoked later. So I'm just, how can I initiate this class? What should I do to initiate a class? How to create an instance of an class in Java? Guys, how do we initiate a class in Java?
Class name dot method name.
Okay, so class name followed by a instance name. Okay, I'm saying CC new class name. So using the new keyword, we instantiate an object in object-oriented programming. Okay, in Java also has the same syntax. Apex also has the same syntax. So here, what the system did is it created a memory, and in that memory, it has this definition. The whole definition is stored in the memory. Now that memory is accessed via this variable. This is the instance of the class. Now we can access the method. Okay, add Leon. We can access the method which is exposed via public. If it is private, this cannot be accessed. So we are accessing a method in the instance. Okay, I'm just running open log, execute highlighted. Method is not visible. My mistake. Let me make this visible. Okay, now I have executed this Apex method. Okay, what it did, it created one DML statement and it inserted a record in the system. So I'm going to call contacts. I have Rian contact in the system. I have not provided any other information, so it just created a record. So we just built one class which has attributes, which has methods, and using this method, you can open anonymous window using Control E or file open, no, test, not test. How do I open anonymous window? Okay, open execute anonymous window. Under debug, you can use open execute anonymous window, which will give you the screen where you can run Apex code directly. Okay. So this we have exposed. We just created one class. In that class, we created one method which can help us create a contact in the system. Does this make sense? This is an object. These are the properties. These are the methods. Can you guys say what is constructor? What is the use of constructor?
Assign value to a data member of a class.
Assign values to a data. Okay. Anything else?
Member
So
of
it's a
class.
special method.
Special method. Okay.
It was initialized when the class is called invoke.
It was called when the class is initialized
When the
or
class is
instantiated.
okay.
Okay. So this method is invoked, right? But in this statement, I have not invoked constructor. Is that correct?
Yes.
What is this?
I think we not define anything in our constructor.
Correct, but this is constructor, right? We are invoking the
Yeah,
constructor and that new. So this is getting invoked. So constructor is mandatory. So the constructor, as you guys said, it is a special method which is executed, okay, whenever a new instance is created. So here I use this keyword to set up. Okay. I'm setting up a value for the fname property in the constructor. And whenever I add, I can use that in my contact. In this method, I'm using the property first name, which is assigned in the controller. Okay. And I'm trying to insert a record. Let me insert Sridhar. Okay. I'm executing the system. It says there is one DML. There are no errors. Go to the contacts. I see one contact is created. I just initialized a value testing for first name and used it in the method. So constructor is a special method which is used to initialize values or set initial values for your properties in the class. And it is not just setting the values. It can set up, it can do some other operations as well. Make sense? It can invoke a method, like I will call a method. Let's call a void. Let me call set default account. Okay, I'm calling this method. And I will just take one account. I'll take Nugambakam. Okay. Start account ID is equal to okay. So at the time of construct in the constructor, I can call a method start set default, which will set a value in the account ID, and that account ID can be used before inserting a record. Okay, let me invoke initially execute. Okay, so it is executed. There are no errors. Go back to the contacts, we see Vinishri, and we see the account get tagged there. Okay. So here what we did, we just, in the constructor, we just called set default method. You can not only just initiate the value, you can perform certain functions, run some functions as well. Okay. So all of this happened with 2 lines of code. So we say, what is my basic activity to do in the constructor, and what is the method I need to run in the constructor. Okay. Now, can I, access this set default method here? Set default account. Can I access it? Or can I access get default account? Set would be challenging. Can I access set get default? Is this allowed? Yes, no, wild guess. Farhan, is this allowed, Farhan? cc.getDefault account.
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. I'm not familiar with Java. I'm a Python developer.
Okay, fine then. Okay, so here we have not declared this as public, so this should not be accessible outside. Okay, I'll just give a system.debug. So the system.debug is a simple console function which will just display whatever string that is there in the there as a parameter. Okay, let me execute. Let's say execute. So here method is not visible. So here we are abstracting with the access modifiers. Okay, ones that you expose public are accessible. Ones that you would not expose as public are accessible within the class only. It cannot be exposed to outside world. Does that make sense? How we define a class, how we define methods, how we define variable. Yes, no, doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay, so I want all of you guys to have that, have this new mindset. Okay, where doesn't matter whether you programmed earlier or whether you programmed in Python, JavaScript, whatever. Okay, you are going to learn Apex. Okay, I want you guys to have that mindset where you can learn this, right? It is not rocket science. Okay, this can be learned, but you guys have to practice for it. So the the excuses we should limit. We don't want to keep adding the excuses. So I want you guys to try it. Okay. If you don't know, that's fine. Make a guess. You would learn. Okay. So even I don't know, these are again, that's why we are just calling it as basics. I'm not going to teach every syntax, everything in the basics. I want to give you the overview, what can be done in Apex, how things can be done in Apex. Okay, we will have detailed sessions, but this is basic. I want you guys to understand. If you don't understand, ask question. Nazir, Farhan, is that point clear? You guys are no more Python
Yes,
developer.
sir.
You guys are Salesforce developers. I want you guys to have that mindset.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So can you guys create a simple Apex class using developer console, like, so that, like, you have an understanding how the Apex class can be built. Okay. And, like, people who know already how to build Apex classes, like, just review the classes that you guys built. Like, understand what are the properties you have defined, understand what are all the constructor you have defined, understand what are all the, like, methods you have defined. Okay. So I like, so someone, we review the inheritance, we will review the, like, encapsulation. Okay. With more examples. Okay, but I just want to make sure you are clear with the abstraction. Okay. You expose what you want to expose. You don't have to expose everything. Is that abstraction concepts clear? We do have abstract keyword in Salesforce. Okay, we do have abstract classes, but that's not abstraction. All good so far? Class, methods, attributes. Is this part clear? What is object? How everything should be seen as object? How every object can be defined as a class in Apex?
Sir,
Yep.
sir, I have a doubt. Why are we using this term called void in our program?
This means there is no return type. There is nothing can be expected. There is no output of this function.
Okay, sir.
So the default access filter is a protector, sir.
Private.
Private. Then we want to set a protector, we use the keyword, right, sir?
I don't remember Apex class protected keyword. Let me check. I don't remember, man. Access modifiers. We do have protected. I've not used it, so no idea. We do have global. Yep. In inner class, in the defined class, and to the classes that extend the defined class. So this is within the parent. Okay, and in Salesforce, there is a term called package, right? Some of you guys have discussed about the App Exchange package. That App Exchange package is different, and the Java packaging is different. Okay, so don't get confused with those two. In Salesforce instance, okay, we group classes. Okay, we group objects, everything as one package, and this is where the that package is little different than Java packaging. Java packaging, you group all the classes together and, like, you define one identifier for that package, right? And using that package identifier, you use that in different classes. In Salesforce, we don't have such packaging concept. Salesforce packaging is different. To be very clear on that. So this protected means you can access in the defining class and the classes that extend the class, basically parents. Okay. I want someone share screen, just define one Apex class, one method, one attribute. I'm good. Need volunteers. Finishri, Raghava, one simple Apex class.
Hi, Riyas.
Hey, Raghav.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I created this class. Are you getting my screen?
Yeah, able to see your screen. Hello, Apex.
Okay. Yeah. Can you give some sections like what I need to do?
You can give like, name as an attribute, string,
Okay.
string name. No, it has to be string, data type. Yeah, you define the data type. Okay, and FYI guys, Apex is case insensitive. Okay, like you don't have to worry about capital letter S to be used for string data types and all. It is case insensitive. Both capital letter S, small letter S has the same meaning. Okay, but be careful with the Apex class name. Okay, because like I want to make sure that we use proper camel case, not camel case. We use proper capitalized class names. Okay. Yeah, and define one method, Raghava, like the set name. Okay. A method, yeah. Define one input to the method. Okay. INP, N1, that's okay. Yeah, this dot name equal to N1. So I'm setting a prop this dot name equal to yeah. Okay, and okay, and just do system.debug N1. That is more than enough. Yeah, in save it in
Yeah.
in the anonymous execution, just initialize hello world. Yeah, and just call set name. So you're initializing and then accessing the method. Okay. And run it. So guys, execute highlight means you have to select what text you want to execute. So this is a like anonymous window. So select the text so that you can run only the selected text. When you do execute everything else, everything will be executed. If you use execute highlighted, only selected text will be run. You can run execute highlighted. Okay, cool. Then, so you defined a class, created an instance, accessed a method in the instance. Okay, but like the complexity will increase based on the operations, because while learning we go with simple examples. Okay, there are like plenty of examples to try. Can you go to Apex Sandbox in Google? apexsandbox.io. apexsandbox.io. Okay, enter. Okay, so Apex 101, just explain that. There are some practices, expand. So all of these problems, you guys can practice. I don't have to go through each one of them. So you can practice so that this will help you understand Apex, what sort of logics can be built. You guys have worked on, use your developer edition, practice all of these. These are like basic programs, right? And you don't have to run it here. You can just solve it in your developer edition. Okay. Good. So whoever is very interested in programming, solve this and we'll review it later as time permits. Okay. Good. Thanks, Raghava. Anyone else wants to share the screen and just define one Apex class? Imran, do you want to try now? Imran, right?
Yes, sir. 1 second.
Sure. Suralai, have you tried? Any questions? Yep. File, new Apex class. Okay. Okay. Yeah, define a method. Put it in a constructor accept one parameter, set the value to fname. Okay. Yeah, you can return. Now, get name. You defined get name, right? So you don't need a parameter for that.
Okay.
Okay, so you can remove the parameter string and just return this dot first name. Fname. So you're returning a property in the method. Semicolon is needed.
Yeah, yes. Sorry.
No problem. We are all learning with you, so it has to be a return and see the problems, because that will give you the compilation error. Whatever is the compilation error, there is one red, right? You see a red color dot with one below. Yes. Expression cannot be statement. So line number 4, there is a problem. Just do a return there. Okay, we'll see what is an expression, what is a statement. Perfect.
So we
Save.
need to change the public void to string, public string, because we return string value.
Yes, we have to change that. So we are returning a string, so it has to be public string, not void. We'll see the function definition and everything. Save. Okay, you have not defined constructor yet. So constructor, the class name and constructor is a method, right? So class name should be used as the method name. Yeah, so give public. Constructor doesn't return anything, so it has to be void. Return type is. Yeah, it is a method. So class name is correct. Give open bracket, close bracket. And curly braces for function definition. You can say, you can accept one parameter in the constructor. Yep, it's an input parameter. Okay, first para. Okay, yeah. Python and Apex. Python is very advanced. Okay, it is very smart. But Apex, it requires a lot of syntax to be followed. So you have to define what is the data type of the parameter in fpara, whether it is string, integer, whatever. Good. And you can access the fname here with this keyword. And you can set value. No, fpara is not an attribute in the class. Fname is the attribute, is a property. Okay, and fpara is the value that we are receiving from the calling system. So pass fpara to fname instead of double quotes. Yeah, fname equal to fpara. You're assigning fpara value to fname. Perfect. Save. Use Control S. Cool. You have written Apex class. I'll declare you Apex programmer. Okay. You can execute. You can invoke this Apex class. Go to debug. Under debug, you have open anonymous window. First one. Yes. Here, let's create an instance of the class. My class. Class instance name. OBJ. We generally call OBJ. Ah, yeah, IAM is also okay. Equal to new my class. So basically, system allocates memory, and it uses all the properties and methods in the class in that memory. Cool. And your constructor accepts one parameter. If you execute, it will get an error. Execute. We'll see the error. We learn. So there is no constructor without parameters is declared. Your constructor needs one parameter. Okay, give OK. In your constructor, pass one parameter value. Yep. Perfect. And execute. Voila. Go to logs. In problems which you see, right? On the left side, you see logs. Perfect. So this is the log of the execution. You can double click that. It will expand. So here system shows what is the log created. So if you scroll to the bottom, there are no errors. If there is an error, system would have thrown it. There are no errors. Okay, there is a debug only, right? we haven't used any debug statement. If you scroll down, there is, you see f para Imran is passed and variable assignment f name is assigned Imran. Okay. If you want to see this, we use system.debug, or we create record in the system using, like, object instances. We create record. But so you declared a class, you declared attribute, you declared, say, you declared property, you declared method, you accessed the, or instantiated the class. Thank you, Imran.
Thank you, Riaz. I'm sorry. I'm new to static language, that's why.
Yeah, I understand. Like, it will be a tough jump from Python to Apex, but like, it's worth it. Yeah.
Thank you, Riaz.
Yeah. Cool. Guys, any questions on the basics? Oops. Don't expect me to teach statement, expression, function syntax, variable syntax, and all. That defeats the whole purpose of hiring you as software developer. Cool. Okay. Okay, great. So let me. Okay, did we crossed more than 10 minutes? Okay, no problem. So tomorrow we'll check the data types. We'll see more of Apex programs in next 3 days this week. Okay. Any questions, ping me. Try to practice the Apex sandbox.io examples or sample programs. Okay, it'll be interesting. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll catch up tomorrow. We'll talk more about Apex.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Riaz.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.